AD Tech Sports and News. Newcastle United 2-3 Liverpool tactical analysis from St James Park. Liverpool produced one of the most dramatic victories of the Premier League season so far with a 3-2 win over Newcastle United at St James Park. In a game filled with controversy, injuries, and extraordinary late drama, it was 16-year-old debutant Rio Ngumoha who stole the headlines, scoring the winning goal deep into stoppage time. This was not just a story of goals, but of tactics, resilience, and mental strength. Let's break down the key elements that shaped this unforgettable clash. Pre-match context. Liverpool arrived at St James Park unbeaten and growing in confidence under new manager Osula, whose emphasis on structured possession and pressing has given the team a new rhythm. Newcastle, however, entered the game under pressure. Their star striker Alexander Isak was unsettled amid transfer speculation linking him with Liverpool, and manager Eddie Howe faced mounting injury concerns. Despite these challenges, St James Park was buzzing. Newcastle fans were ready to push their team against one of their fiercest recent rivals. Newcastle's early setup. Eddie Howe's plan was clear from the start. Newcastle set up in a 4-3-3, with Bruno Guimarães sitting deep as a midfield controller. The strategy was to remain compact, restrict Liverpool's central combinations, and use Anthony Gordon's pace on the left flank to break quickly in transition. For the opening 30 minutes, it worked reasonably well. Newcastle closed passing lanes, defended aggressively, and frustrated Liverpool's build-up play. The game looked finely balanced, with neither side carving out major chances. Liverpool's control and opening goal. Liverpool, though, remained patient. Under Slot, they use a positional 4-3-3 designed to stretch opponents and create overloads. Ryan Gravenberch and Cody Gakpo drifted into pockets between the lines, while Andrew Robertson pushed high on the left to stretch Newcastle's defense. In the 35th minute, Liverpool's persistence paid off. Gravenberch received the ball on the edge of the box and finished calmly to make it 1-0. It was a classic Liverpool move under Slot, structured build-up followed by sharp execution. The red card, turning point. Just before halftime, the match changed dramatically. Anthony Gordon lunged into a late challenge on Virgil van Dijk. Initially shown a yellow card, VAR intervened, and it was upgraded to a straight red. From that moment, Newcastle were forced into survival mode. Howe reorganized into a 4-4-1, sacrificing attacking threat to maintain defensive stability. The home side's task became significantly harder with 10 men. Liverpool pushed ahead. With a numerical advantage, Liverpool began the second half aggressively. They moved the ball quickly, used the full width of the pitch, and looked to stretch Newcastle's tiring defensive lines. Their dominance was rewarded when Hugo Ekitike scored early in the half. A clever run and neat finish doubled the lead, seemingly putting the game out of reach. At 2-0 down with 10 men, most teams would have folded. But Newcastle had other ideas. Newcastle's resilience. To their credit, Newcastle refused to give up. From a set piece in the 57th minute, Bruno Guimarães powered home a header to make it 2-1. The goal reignited belief inside St James Park. Despite being a man short, Newcastle pressed with energy and defended with courage. Eddie Howe made substitutions to inject fresh legs, and his players responded with determination. Their persistence was rewarded in the 88th minute when substitute Osula struck to equalize at 2-2. The stadium erupted, and it looked as though Newcastle had salvaged an unlikely point. The decisive moment. But Liverpool were not finished. In stoppage time, Osula made a bold decision to introduce Rio Ngumoha, a 16-year-old making his senior debut. In the 100th minute, the teenager produced a moment that will live long in Liverpool history. After a flowing move, Ngumoha found space in the box and calmly slotted home to make it 3-2. It was a stunning climax. Ngumoha became Liverpool's youngest ever goalscorer, delivering 3 points in the most dramatic fashion. Newcastle's injury crisis. As if the red card wasn't enough, Newcastle also suffered serious injury setbacks. Sandro Tonali left the pitch with shoulder injury, Joelinton limped off with a leg problem, and Fabian Schär was withdrawn with concussion. These losses could have a lasting impact on Howe's side, especially with Gordon now suspended after his red card. Depth has been one of Newcastle's strengths in recent seasons, but this crisis could test them severely. Tactical takeaways. Liverpool's midfield superiority. Gravenberch was outstanding in controlling the rhythm. His positioning between the lines consistently caused problems for Newcastle. Alongside Endo, he ensured Liverpool never lost control of possession, even when Newcastle surged. Newcastle's defensive discipline. Playing with 10 men for nearly a half, Newcastle were brave and organized. Their compact block forced Liverpool to rely on width and long switches. Howe's ability to keep his side competitive despite the circumstances deserves credit. Substitution impact. Howe's introduction of Osula provided direct energy and a physical presence that unsettled Liverpool late on. For Liverpool, Slot's decision to trust Ngumoha was audacious but ultimately decisive. Mental strength. This game was as much about psychology as tactics. Liverpool showed resilience after conceding a late equalizer, refusing to settle for a draw. Newcastle showed immense fight, but the emotional high of their comeback was cut short by Liverpool's refusal to give in. What this means going forward. Liverpool. This win reinforces Liverpool's status as genuine title contenders. Slot's tactical clarity, combined with the emergence of young talent like Ngumoha, gives the club fresh momentum. More than the 3 points, the mentality shown here sends a message to the rest of the league. Newcastle. The defeat is painful, but the bigger concern is availability. With Gordon suspended and Tonali, Joelinton, and Scar potentially sidelined, Howe faces a tough challenge in the coming weeks. The resilience shown will give fans encouragement, but the squad's depth will be tested to its limit. Final word. This was a Premier League classic. Red cards, goals, injuries, comebacks, and a teenager's fairy tale winner. Liverpool showed why they are serious contenders under onslaught, organized, fearless, and mentally strong. Newcastle, though beaten, earned admiration for their fight and spirit, even with everything against them. At full time, the story belonged to Rio Ngumoha, a 16-year-old who turned a night of tension and chaos into one of the most memorable debuts in Liverpool history. Final score, Newcastle United 2-3 Liverpool. Another unforgettable night at St. James Park. That's around 1,000 words in clean, journalistic AD Tech Sports and News YouTube analysis.